Emily from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Tuesday, June 21st. So we have the moon fresh into Aries energy. Aries being the very first sign of the zodiac, always kinds of peps us up, fires us up, brings us back to life. It reignites sparks, passions, desires, even a little bit of anger and restlessness if we're not careful with how it is that we have control over our emotions and how we allow it to actually manifest. So we have a very, very pressurized, energetic day happening here for a couple of reasons. Let's break it down. First and foremost, this is the day that the sun moves out of the final degrees of Gemini energy and jumps into Cancer energy. The sun moving into Cancer initiates, triggers, activates the solstice. If you have not listened to the astro forecast that I put out for this particular event, I'm going to recommend you go do that so that you have the full cup of tea on what you can expect for this next season. We also have the very last day of Venus, the goddess of love and beauty and worth and pleasure and money, in her place of power in Taurus. She is preparing to move into Gemini, which means that the very last degrees of a planet moving through the zodiac sign adds a little bit of pressure, adds a little bit of intensity, because we got to wrap this lesson up. Reminder, go listen to the astro forecast of what Venus being in Taurus was all about. The goddess needed us to be present in this present moment, regardless of the circumstances, in order to identify the happiness, the joy, the pleasure, the safety, the security, the stability that we need to be creating for ourselves, regardless of the storm that keeps hitting up against this cozy little home that we've created in our inner realms. This is about embodying the best energy, the highest vibration and frequency of love, pleasure, joy, happiness, even when there's pretty dark circumstances really kind of crashing into our exterior realms. So we have 9 different aspects taking place here today. 6 of them involve the moon. Mercury, right out of the gate, is going to make a very positive aspect with Neptune. This is a beautiful energy because it means that Neptune, being in Pisces, Neptune is all about dreams, about our higher selves, our soul self. This is about our soul contracts, creativity, inspiration, a vision, a dream, if you will, on what it is that actually makes us happy, what it is we actually want to manifest. Having this little aha moment in La La Land and then bringing it into the mercurial energy that rules over our lower level intellect, our egoic selves, where we can add logic and practicality, strategy, calculated moves to concoct a plan to actually bring some of the elements of our dreamy vision and dreamy goal to life, is exactly what we need right now. Wrapping up Gemini season that Mercury rules over has always been about choice, decision, paths, direction. Many of us still hella confused on the direction that we are taking. However, many of us very clear on the direction that we need to be moving away from. Let that be your guide. The moon is going to semi-square Uranus. This can create a little bit of an emotional cluster F, if you will, because a semi-square is a tension point. A tension point is needed in order for us to see where it is that we're uncomfortable, where it is that we're unsatisfied in our emotional realm, in our thoughts, in our actions, in our physical circumstances. The moon in Aries, again, all revved up, all fired up, wants to take a move, wants to take an action, wants to make progress. But the semi-square is kind of saying, you need to pump the brakes. We got a lot going on here. We have no plan. We have no direction. We're still unsure of what it is that we want, need, and desire emotionally. Maybe you need to sit this one out until we can identify a plan and a strategy for you to pour your emotional time, energy, inspiration, motivation, determination into. Venus is going to trine, beautiful energy, with Pluto. So here's the thing. Venus is in Taurus. That's an earth sign. Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn. That is an earth sign. This particular trine here today can make us feel really good. This can activate some passion. This can activate some desire. This can activate some kind of situation that just has us hopeful and optimistic. Now, here's the thing. Because Pluto's involved, there's always a potential for us to become so freaking tunnel vision and obsessed over certain aspects. So maybe you just got activated with a new passion, a new desire for a person. You may become so tunnel vision and obsessed with the want, needs, and desires of being with this person that that's all you can think about. Maybe you have a new passion or a desire to start a new project. Maybe you're so fixated on this project that you become obsessed with it, that you can't think of anything else but it. Maybe a situation has popped off that you just want to resolve. And because you're so fixated and obsessed and passionate about resolving this, that you become semi-obsessed, fixated, tunnel vision on thinking about only this, only the solutions, only creativity that's going to solve said situation. Regardless, the line between passion and anger is very, very thin. We have to understand that, yes, it feels good to actually give an F about something once again. Yes, it feels good to be passionate about something, to be excited about something, but we don't want to jump in 2 feet head first, so much so that we lose perspective of other things going on around us. Because we are in a very intense day where we're entering into the solstice energy, we want to make sure that we are balanced in our focus, in our intentions, in what it is that's revving us up in all the right ways, making us excited, bringing that spark back. We want to make sure that we still have our peripherals open to all the other things going on in our lives. This isn't a bad energy because it's really showing us where it is that we have to work harder in our lives, in our physical circumstances, to create moments of security, safety, stability that bring us happiness, pleasure, and joy. And we will bring those elements to life. At 5:14 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the sun moving into Cancer season. Cancer season is going to be highly emotional. It is going to be a very, very revealing time. The solstice energy provides us with a brand new playing field. Cancer energy provides us with a lot of emotional intelligence, insight, reflection, inner work that is needed for us to build a more solid foundation for us to feel safe, secure, protected in. Again, please check out the astro forecast that I put out. I ranted for close to half an hour on what we can expect for this next month. This is a time that is very interesting because we have the sun doing a deep dive into the emotional ocean of Cancer season. We have the solstice energy just a blaring. I am going to recommend that you take a listen to the ascension forecast for this week because we are going to have a lot of very uncomfortable physical symptoms that are going to pop off because of the energetic codes coming into our little realm of existence here because of the solstice gateway and portal now being open. We have an amplifier happening here. The moon in Aries is going to come up, sit next to, bump into, team up with Jupiter, who is also in Aries energy. Now, Jupiter wants us to grow. He wants us to expand. He wants us to improve. He wants us to be blessed. He wants us to receive our rewards, our abundance. He wants us to challenge our beliefs. He's in Aries for the first time in 12 years. He wants to start something new. He wants to initiate a new chapter. He wants to bring new opportunities to life that will be very fruitful and rewarding for us for the next 12 years. Jupiter is a magnifying glass, tends to really amplify and make objects seem bigger than they actually appear for good reason. Because the moon is in Aries and we're all fired up, we're hella passionate, we got sparks, we got fires popping off, we just want to take action, we want to see new things unfold, we can expect that the energy is going to be absolutely raging. Now, the sun just entered into Cancer season, a water sign. And with all of this fire energy that we got kind of popping off here, we have to remember what happens when there's too much fire to water. We burn those emotions right out. We evaporate all intuition, all emotion, all methods of healing. When there's too much water to the fire gets snuffed out. We're not sparked, we're not fired up, we're not passionate, we're not taking action. We always want to try to achieve balance. And it is going to be a tough lesson to learn, especially as we adapt to this Cancer season. The moon conjunct Jupiter in this way is going to amplify whatever thoughts, emotions, ideas are currently floating on inside of us, especially with the solstice energy trying to show us where new elements, new topics, new themes, new ideas need to be anchored into our physical realms in order for us to start building upon them. Now, this can be, I'm going to give you two situations, two scenarios. The positives of this particular aspect is that we can feel hella bossed up, hella determined. We are unleashing our warrior spirit. We are definitely motivated. We are feeling inspired. We are definitely passionate. We are identifying new desires, and we are ready to do whatever is necessary in order to take action to bring these elements to life. The downside of this, the cons, if you will, is that we're angry, we're frustrated. We throw a temper tantrum because things aren't moving fast enough. We get whiny, we get complaining about all of the things that we wish we had yesterday, okay? That is very much playing into the feels, very much the negative aspect of the feels. And because Jupiter's involved, again, magnifying glass and volume all the way up on our current state of thoughts and emotions. The moon is going to semi-square the true note. The true note is our soul's path, our destiny point, the path that we need to be on in order to actually reach our soul's mission, reach our soul's purpose, to actually bring to life some of the elements that we're currently dreaming about. Now, the semi-square means that there's tension here, confusion. Why? Because this Aries energy wants us to act, and we don't have a whole lot of direction to act upon. We need a little bit of time to alchemize to this green light go. We're going to have a huge, huge period of time where there's going to be nothing but action. So much to the point where we are going to burn ourselves out long before we actually see the end goal manifest. We have to be patient. Be careful what you wish for. This particular energy is going to put us at odds because, again, many of us are in a temper tantrum mode. Aries energy is the toddler of the zodiac. We can pop off 0 to 60 in under 60 seconds and then act like nothing's happened. This is going to be a surefire way to figure out how much discipline, how much control you actually have over your emotions. We're in a solstice energy. Okay, this is a very, very temperamental energy to jump into and get used to. So be very careful of your emotions and how you're letting them manifest. The moon in Aries is going to sextile, blend energies with, work very well with Mercury, who is in his place of power in Gemini, who is now out of the post-shadow period, moving through the degrees in Gemini that are new territory for Mercury to explore. What I will say about this, okay, first of all, Aries energy is fire, Gemini energy is air. This is the campfire scenario once again. Too much oxygen, too much thought, too many questions, too much curiosity will blow a whole lot of wind on that fire. That fire will just explode. It'll burn the whole freaking forest down, okay? If there is not enough oxygen, that fire, that action, that spark, that passion, that desire will burn itself out before even manifesting and taking any kind of action to bring anything to life. We want a balanced energy between the fire, between the air. The moon is emotion. Mercury is the mental plane. We are working very hard to get them in sync. Why? Because the heart and the head have to agree before we can engage the physical body to take action in our physical realm, to make the changes that we know that we need to make in order to gain perspective and gain a little bit more progress and productivity in building the bridge to get us from where it is that we're at to where it is we desire to be. The moon and Mercury working very well together, definitely going to give us some aha moments, some insight if we can balance these energies. It will also put us in a position, should we be gifted with the opportunity to do so and feel right about it, to speak on some of our emotions, some of our thoughts, our inner realm. Things have been stirring. We've been having some aha moments. Mercury, of course, rules over communication just as much as it rules over information in the way that we process the information in our mental plane. This is an encouraging opportunity to speak our truth, to be bold and brave, drawing from the Aries energy, having the courage to speak one's truth, to identify new passions, new paths, new desires, and actually communicate that with confidence and with clarity. But if you notice, okay, this is up to you, if you notice that you're manifesting the not so nice qualities of the moon in Aries, which is anger and temper tantrums and frustration, you are going to take the opportunity to speak out a bunch of verbal garbage that is, technically speaking, going to create drama that you just don't need to be speaking upon right now. It is up to you to have the emotional intelligence to rewrite the system, to identify how the energy is manifesting in you, and to choose by listening to your higher self whether or not the opportunities to speak out on it are the right ones to take, or whether you should keep your mouth shut until you can get a grip on your own emotions and gain the confidence and clarity in your inner dialogue before you go sharing your inner realm with the external people in your life that maybe need to hear it. The moon is going to bump into Pluto in a very positive way. This speaks very highly of the fact that many of us choosing to lean into the positives of this energy and take the full opportunity to speak our thoughts, speak our feelings, and really share what's been going on in our inner realm to people in our outer realm. This speaks very highly that there is a very transformative energy taking over. We have to understand that the Plutonian energy rules over our psyche first and foremost. When we have aha moments, when we reframe situations of the past in a new way where we have a new level of enlightenment, not only does it change the way that we have the perspective on the past, but it changes the way that we perceive our present moment, and it sure as hell changes the way that we look at the possibilities of the future. When we alter the psyche, when we alter the mental narrative, when we alter the mental perspective, it changes the emotions that we attach to said situation. When the psyche is in a new perspective, when the emotions have now aligned to this new understanding, we can get our heart and our head on the same page, preparing the physical body to make a move and take an action that is going to try to get our external realms to start mirroring back and replicating our inner realm work. That's where we're at right now. We've done so much inner work. We are semi-content, if you will, in our inner realms, not so content in our external realms. We are now in a stage of experimentation where we have to kind of jump in and play with different elements, different thoughts, different ideas, different people in order to figure out what works for us and what does not work for us. And this particular aspect would suggest that we are disconnecting with a lot of old attitudes, old perspectives, old understandings, and we are kind of shifting our psyche, our mental plane, into a new level of awareness and enlightenment, which again reverberates, has a domino effect in our emotions, which of course has a direct effect on our present moment, and of course affects what it is that we're thinking, what it is that we're feeling about the future moves that we are currently strategizing to make. We're going to wrap the day up with the moon in Aries, semi-squaring, adding a little bit of tension, a little bit of conflict with Saturn, the Lord of Karma, who is currently retrograde, having us reflect over the past 12 months, the tough love life lessons that we've had to go through, and to get very real on whether or not we actually bossed up and passed those life lessons, or whether we copped out, ran from them, and therefore need to start over and build ourselves back up in the here and now from now until the fall when Saturn goes direct again, where we need to learn those lessons and integrate those lessons before we can move on to no soul contracts, new situations. Now, here's the thing. Saturn rules over roles and responsibilities, structures and foundations. The moon in Aries right now really only cares about oneself. Aries energy is the individual ego identity. The Aquarian energy that Saturn is currently in worries about everybody else, the collective, the group, the network, the team, the whatever, very much loses the unique individual egoic identity that we need to be focused on right now. Why do we need to be focused on it? Well, first of all, many of us have put others' wants, needs, and desires before our own for so freaking long that we don't even know what it would be like to be at the top of the list of anyone else's list, let alone our own damn list. Many of us have been currently illuminated to roles, responsibilities, commitments that we were once aligned with that now just feel like they're sucking the life right out of us. We don't know how to get out of them because, God forbid, we upset anyone. God forbid that we disappoint anyone. That is an ego wound. We have Chiron, the wounded healer, in Aries, showing us our egoic wounds, many of that we've accumulated by our own poor decisions, by putting people in front of our own wants, needs, and desires. The moon in Aries semi-squaring Saturn at this particular point is going to get a little bit heavy, a little bit weighted. Why? Because negative Nancy wants to kick in. Tell us that we shouldn't be thinking about ourselves, that it's selfish, that it's wrong to put our own wants, needs, and desires before our own, that maybe that it's wrong to act in our own best interest without considering the consequences of other people. Maybe negative Nancy needs to have a little kick in her face in order to shut up and just give us a moment to reconsider on how we've created a physical realm and reality that we are uncomfortable living in because we are no longer the stars of our own freaking movies, and we've given our power away so freaking many times over that we don't even know what it would be like to have a starring role in the movie in which is us. Negative Nancy needs to sit the hell down for 2 seconds. We are in Cancer season right now. We've only been in it for a couple of hours, but we really got to get a huge grip on realizing where new boundaries need to be created and implemented in order to give us the space to do what is right for us, to provide ourselves with safety and security, a stable place to love and nurture ourselves, our inner child, back to a state of health and wellness before we can go ahead and start sharing our cup with other people. Okay, this is a time for us to re-examine where it is that we've been pouring from an empty cup, trying to fill other people's cup up, and then have the audacity to be resentful at the fact that you're left basically thirsting to death while other people are hydrated because you gave them the very last remnants of what sat in the very bottom of your own damn cup. Okay? We're going to learn some very tough love life lessons on love and nurturing for oneself through Cancer season, and it starts right now. So this moon aspecting Saturn is definitely going to put a lot of weight on our shoulders. We're going to feel that weight on our chest. We're going to feel that frustration build up, that anger build up, because right now we are being kind of propositioned on whether or not we're going to continue to do right for other people and suffer the consequences in our own miserable state of emotion because of it, or whether we're going to alter the axis of how much energy, love, and attention we're willing to give away when we don't even reserve enough for ourselves.